Sophia once lived in a busy city. She worked in a small shop, sold clothes, and spoke to many people every day. The streets were loud, the buses were always full, and she felt tired most nights. But deep in her heart, she wanted something else. She wanted silence, open space, and a chance to build a life with meaning. One spring morning, she stood at her small window and looked out. The sky was gray with smoke, and the sound of traffic filled her ears. In that moment, she whispered to herself, "I need a new life." That was the start of her journey. She began to plan. She saved money, sold old things, and searched for a small house in the countryside. Weeks passed, then months. Finally, she found a little house with a garden. It was old, with broken windows and cracked walls, but the view was green and wide. She decided to buy it. On the day she left the city, her sister Anna came to help her pack. The small apartment was full of boxes. Anna looked at Sophia with worry. She could not understand why Sophia wanted to leave everything behind.
Sophia, are you sure about this? The countryside is far. What if you feel lonely?
I am sure. I need peace. Here I only feel stress.
But the city has work, friends, and shops. What will you do there?
I will plant. I will make a garden. Maybe I will sell food at the market.
I just want you to be safe. Call me if you ever feel sad.
I promise. And Anna, you can visit me anytime.
They hugged tightly. For Anna, it felt like a goodbye to a sister. For Sophia, it felt like a hello to a new world. Sophia traveled by bus to the countryside. The ride was long, but the view outside changed slowly. Tall buildings became small houses, and small houses became fields of grass. She watched cows walk slowly near the road and birds fly over rivers. For the first time in years, she felt her breath slow down. When she arrived, the house looked even older than in the photos. The roof had holes, and the door made a loud sound when it opened. But she touched the wooden walls and felt warmth. It was her home now. The first days were hard. She cleaned dust, fixed windows, and painted walls. Her hands grew tired, but her heart felt strong. Every night she sat outside, listened to crickets, and looked at the stars. In the city, she never saw the stars. One morning she met her neighbor, Mrs. Elena, an older woman with kind eyes. Elena carried a basket of apples and smiled warmly. Sophia felt nervous, but she wanted to be polite. She greeted her neighbor at the small wooden gate.
Good morning. I am Sophia. I just moved here.
Welcome, dear. I am Elena. This is my basket for you. Apples from my garden.
Thank you so much. They look fresh and sweet.
Why did you come here? Most people go to the city, not away from it.
I needed peace. I want to build a simple life here.
Then you came to the right place. Life is slow here, but also full of work.
I don't mind. I am ready to learn.
Elena touched Sophia's hand softly. In her eyes, Sophia saw kindness and welcome. It was the first sign that she could belong in this new place. Days turned into weeks. Sophia began to plant vegetables in the small garden. At first, the soil was hard, and her back hurt after hours of digging. But every small seed she put into the ground gave her hope. She woke early, watered plants, and watched green leaves slowly grow. At night, she wrote in her diary. She wrote about the silence, the smell of the earth, and the sound of the wind in the trees. She wrote about her fear, too, fear of failure, fear of being alone. But she also wrote about her dream, a new life built by her own hands. Slowly, Sophia's house began to look different. Clean windows, painted walls, flowers in pots by the door. Her heart began to change too. The noise in her mind was less, and she felt light when she woke in the morning. Still, she sometimes thought of the city. She missed her sister, the smell of coffee shops, and the sound of voices in the street. But when she looked at the wide fields and breathed fresh air, she knew she had made the right choice. Weeks became months. Sophia's garden grew well. She now had carrots, tomatoes, and beans. Each morning she picked fresh vegetables with her hands and felt joy. She cooked simple meals and ate slowly at her small wooden table. Life was hard, but it was real. She wanted to share her food. So one Saturday she walked to the village market. She carried a basket of tomatoes and beans. Her heart beat fast. She had never sold her own food before. The market was full of people, talking and laughing. A man at the market stopped near Sophia's basket. He looked at her tomatoes with interest. Sophia felt shy, but she tried to speak with courage.
Are these yours? They look very fresh.
Yes, I grew them in my garden.
They look better than the ones in the shop. How much for a kilo?
Only 2 coins. It is my first time selling.
Then I will take 2 kilos. I want to support new farmers.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy them.
I will. Welcome to the market.
Sophia gave him the tomatoes. Her hands shook a little, but her heart felt proud. For the first time, she earned money from her own work in the soil. From that day, Sophia went to the market every week. She met new people, learned their names, and shared small smiles with them. Each coin she earned was small, but it was proof that her dream could be real. At night, when she lay in bed, she thought about her life in the city. She once ran to catch buses, worked in loud shops, and counted hours until rest. Now she worked harder with her hands, but her heart was calmer. She felt free. Still, some days were not easy. Heavy rain came in autumn. The wind broke some plants, and water filled her garden. Sophia stood in the mud and felt tears in her eyes. She worried all her work was lost. But then she remembered Elena's words. Life is slow here, but full of work. Sophia wiped her tears and began again. She replanted seeds, fixed the garden beds, and prayed for sun. One cold evening, Anna visited from the city. She sat by Sophia's fire, holding a cup of hot tea. The sisters looked at each other with soft eyes.
I see you changed, Sophia. Your face looks calm.
Yes, Anna. Life here is hard, but I feel alive.
Do you ever miss the city?
Sometimes I miss the coffee shops. I miss you too, but I do not miss the noise.
I worried about you, but now I think you made the right choice.
Thank you. Your support means a lot. This place is my new home.
Then I will visit more often. I like the peace too.
They laughed softly. The fire burned warm between them, like a small light of love and family that distance could not break. Winter came. Snow covered the garden, and Sophia spent more time inside. She baked bread, read books, and wrote in her diary. She wrote about strength, patience, and hope. She wrote about how simple things, a fresh carrot, a starry night, a kind neighbor, gave her more joy than the city ever had. When spring returned, Sophia's garden awoke again. Small green leaves pushed through the earth. She smiled at them like they were her children. She knew each season would bring new tests, but also new gifts. Sophia was no longer the woman who once stood by a city window, tired and lost. She was now a woman who built her own life with her own hands. Her days were filled with earth, water, sun, and quiet. Her heart was filled with peace. She looked at her small house, her growing garden, and the wide open sky. She whispered, "This is my new life. I made it. I am free." And in that moment, she knew her journey was only beginning.